Have you ever heard of rocks that can sing? It might sound like something out of a fantasy story or a legend passed down through generations, but singing stones are a real and fascinating natural phenomenon that has puzzled scientists and intrigued cultures for centuries. In various parts of the world, certain rocks and rock formations are known to produce sounds, almost like music, when struck or moved by natural forces, like wind, water, or even the simple act of walking across them. These rocks don't have voices like people do, but they can emit strange humming, ringing, or even musical tones. This sound can be clear and bell-like, low and rumbling, or something in between. As we explore the world of singing stones, we'll look at the science behind the sounds, the different types of singing stones found around the world, and the cultural significance and myths that surround these mysterious rock formations. How do singing stones work? The science behind the sound. So how exactly do rocks make sound? When we talk about singing stones, we're referring to a unique natural occurrence where certain rocks, when struck or subjected to pressure, vibrate in such a way that they produce sound waves. These sound waves can sometimes be heard by humans as musical notes, low hums, or even complex melodic tunes. The phenomenon occurs due to the physical properties of the rocks themselves. The most famous example of singing stones can be found in places like the Ringing Rocks Park in Pennsylvania, USA, where certain stones, when struck with a hammer, produce a metallic, bell-like sound that resonates across the landscape. But what causes these sounds? Scientists believe that the answer lies in the specific mineral composition and internal structure of these stones. Many singing stones are made of a type of rock called phonolite, which gets its name from the Greek words for sound and stone. Phonolite rocks contain a unique mix of minerals such as feldspar, mica, and quartz. When these rocks are struck, the minerals inside vibrate in a particular way that creates a ringing sound. Think of it like a bell or a tuning fork. When you hit it, it vibrates and produces a clear, sustained sound. The size and shape of the stone can also influence the sound it makes. If the stone is hollow or has cavities inside, it can act like a natural amplifier, making the sound louder and more resonant. Another key factor is the tension within the rock itself. Many singing stones are under a lot of natural stress because of the way they have formed over millions of years. As a result, they have tiny cracks and fissures inside them. When these rocks are struck, the tension is released in the form of vibrations, which we hear as sound. This is similar to how a musical instrument works. When you pluck a guitar string, it vibrates and creates sound waves. The exact sound produced by a singing stone depends on many factors, including the size and shape of the stone, the minerals it contains, and the environmental conditions around it, such as temperature and humidity. Different types of singing stones around the world. There are many different types of singing stones around the world, each with its own unique characteristics and sounds. In the United States, one of the most famous examples is the Ringing Rocks Park in Pennsylvania. This field of stones is known for the unique sounds they make when struck with a hammer. The rocks here are primarily made of a type of basalt that contains a high concentration of iron and other minerals that help them produce a ringing sound. When visitors strike the stones, they are often surprised by the clear, bell-like tones that fill the air. It's almost as if the rocks are alive, singing their own songs for anyone who will listen. Another fascinating example of singing stones is the singing sand dunes, found in deserts around the world, including in China, Oman, and the United States. These dunes create a deep, booming sound when sand grains slide down their steep sides, a phenomenon known as singing sands or booming dunes. The sound is caused by the friction between the sand grains as they move, which generates vibrations that we hear as sound. The exact pitch and tone of the sound can vary depending on the size and shape of the sand grains, the moisture content of the sand, and the speed at which the grains are moving. Some dunes can produce a low, rumbling sound like a distant drum, while others create a high-pitched musical tone. In other parts of the world, singing stones take on different forms. In the Alps of Europe, for example, certain glaciers are known to make eerie, whistling sounds as wind blows across the ice. This phenomenon, known as glacial whistling, occurs when strong winds create vibrations in the ice, which are then amplified by the glacier itself. The result is a haunting, almost musical sound that can be heard from miles away. Similarly, in the deserts of North Africa, the singing rocks of Mauritania are known to produce strange metallic sounds when struck by other stones or even by the wind. Each of these types of singing stones and natural sound phenomena has its own unique characteristics, but they all share one thing in common. They make us wonder about the hidden music of the natural world. What other secrets might be hiding in the rocks and stones that we see every day? The science behind the mystery. Why do some rocks sing while others stay silent? Now you might be wondering, why do some rocks sing while others remain silent? Scientists have several theories to explain this. One of the most popular theories is that the sound produced by singing stones is related to their size, shape, and mineral composition. As we mentioned earlier, most singing stones are composed of a specific combination of minerals that can vibrate and produce sound. However, the exact way in which these minerals are arranged inside the rock also plays a crucial role. If the rock has tiny cracks or cavities, these can act as natural sound chambers, amplifying the vibrations and creating a louder, more noticeable sound. Another factor that can influence whether a rock sings is its age and the environmental conditions it has been exposed to. Rocks that have been exposed to extreme temperatures, pressure changes, or other environmental factors over millions of years can develop internal stresses and cracks that make them more likely to vibrate and produce sound. For example, in places like Death Valley in California, rocks known as singing rocks are often found in areas where the temperature fluctuates dramatically between day and night. These temperature changes cause the rocks to expand and contract, creating tension that can be released as sound when the rock is struck. Scientists have also discovered that the type of sound produced by a singing stone can change depending on the weather. When it is hot and dry, the sound is usually clearer and more resonant. But when it is cold or damp, the sound can become duller or more muted. This is because the moisture in the air can affect how the minerals inside the rock vibrate, just like how a drum sounds different when it is wet compared to when it is dry. Despite all of these scientific explanations, there is still much that we don't know about singing stones. For example, why do some stones in a particular area sing while others remain silent? Are there specific conditions that need to be met for a stone to sing, or is it all just a matter of chance? These are just some of the questions that scientists are still trying to answer. Cultural significance and myths, the mystical world of singing stones. Singing stones aren't just a scientific curiosity. They also have a rich cultural history. In many cultures, singing stones are considered sacred or magical. For example, in some Native American cultures, singing stones are believed to hold the voices of spirits or ancestors. These cultures often use singing stones in rituals or ceremonies to communicate with the spiritual world. The sound of the stones is thought to carry messages from the spirit world to the living, providing guidance or warning of danger. In other cultures, singing stones are believed to have healing properties. In ancient China, for instance, certain types of singing stones were ground into powder and used as medicine. People believed that the vibrations from the stones could help to align the body's energy, promoting healing and wellness. In India, singing stones are sometimes used in meditation practices to help practitioners achieve a state of deep relaxation and focus. The sound of the stones is thought to help clear the mind and connect with a higher state of consciousness. There are also many myths and legends surrounding singing stones. Some people believe that the stones are actually ancient musical instruments left behind by gods or mythical creatures. Others think that the stones sing to warn of danger or to guide travelers on their journey. In Wales, there is a legend about a group of rocks known as the Singing Stones of Mainseti. According to the legend, these stones sing every time a person with a pure heart passes by. The sound is said to be so beautiful that it can bring tears to the eyes of anyone who hears it. These stories and myths add a layer of mystery and intrigue to the already fascinating phenomenon of singing stones. They remind us that for many people, the natural world is not just a collection of rocks and trees, but a living, breathing entity filled with wonder and magic. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Fact Fusion, and click the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.